Greetings, dear ladies. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. My partner, he steps away. He steps away so that he is not part of what should be heard by those who would think, maybe, just maybe, that something outside of that three-dimensional idea that you have about time is here, and you're looking at a multidimensional aspect of yourselves that perhaps you were in Lemuria. Or if not, perhaps you knew of it or felt of it or had teachings from it. I want to talk about the stars. Meliha started it. Let me continue. Dear ones, tomorrow is a special day. Well, I'm going to start a revelation of consciousness. The revealing of a new layer of consciousness that is multidimensional, which belongs to all humanity, but which they have not experienced on a regular basis, and so they don't know about it. A level that will become controversial because it is not in that which you have been taught is possible. In fact, some of you believe and have been taught that to go there would be blasphemous because you're suddenly in the land of spirit, in those places where miracles occur that masters create. And we start showing that it's humans who create them, not the masters. And in all of this, there is something I want to give you. And it's probably the most eye-rolling thing that I could do, is to give you this kind of message at this moment. But you wanted to talk about the stars, Meliha, so let's do it. Where did you come from? Meliha channels the star mothers, and we speak of that in what took place many, many years ago that changed the human DNA from the 24 linear pair to the 23 plus 1. If you haven't heard it before, the 23 plus 1 is the 23 that are in 3 dimension, the 1 that belongs to the stars. That's who you are. And so you might say that you have ancestors in the stars, and you'd be right. So truly, you're not made up of what came from here. You didn't really come from anything here, except your biology developed here. Your consciousness came when it was altered by those who came from the stars. We also have mentioned many times that the Sisterhood is called this because it was the women and their gender who came from the 7 sisters originally that made the difference on this planet, and that the gender is important. And we have mentioned many times that the gender is specifically designed for compassion, for teaching, for help. We've said so many times before, no matter what the gender of the human, when they're in trouble, they want mom, not dad. And so the Sisterhood is designed for ShaWomanship, to learn those things which the star mothers taught. But maybe they didn't teach you everything. Maybe they withhold a little bit. So let's talk about what they withheld. You have family in the stars. If you came from them and their consciousness imbued in you on this planet, that means your ancestors are in the stars. If indeed you've come from an ascended planet, which the star mothers indeed came from, you also know that they control what you would call life and death. They stay. They can. They're multidimensional. They're not corporeal. That's a stretch for many. But that's what ascension looks like and always has. So is it then perhaps logical to say you have ascended ancestors. You do indeed. Now you are also multidimensional, and that is going to be the subject of tomorrow's healing circle. What does that mean? What have you been missing? What might there be that you don't know about yet? So let's speak of that. What if, dear ones, that soul of yours, being multidimensional, somehow is known by your ancestors? If they are also of other dimensions, if they are also ascended beings, their souls probably know yours. Where am I going with this? Here it is. What you're doing right now, today, in your intent to examine your lives and to look deeper into that ShaWomanship you have, to look deeper into the core knowledge of the planet. What if all of your ancestors know exactly what you're doing right now? What a concept. And it's a true one. Here is the truth. There are those all over the galaxy right now who have eyes on you. In this time you call the COVID time, which will be remembered as a reboot for the planet, where things started to shift and change, you're right on schedule. At this time, 8 years after the 2012, the time of an abundance of consciousness, a shift that no one expected 50 years ago, is upon you. And that shift includes the beginning of something very special on this planet, a remembrance carried by the women of who you really are. And that awakening is celebrated because it is known and it is seen all through the galaxy of those who are ascended and those who know what the sisterhood was for them and for you. Have you ever thought that this is bigger than anything you were told? Have you ever thought that perhaps the Star Mothers are more than just a past remembrance of those who taught you in something called your Akash, which is tough to go there and to examine because it was so far distant? What if right now instead you have a family of those who would look at you and say, well done, you're right on schedule, you're at the right place at the right time, and the sisterhood at the right place at the right time. Welcome to a new planet. And so it is.